Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to this midweek review with Mr. John. I'm Mr. John, and for this whole month, we have been talking about a man after God's own heart. That's right, we've been talking about David. Now, David, we've seen get anointed by Samuel to be the future king. We've seen him fight the giant Goliath, and we've seen him just be partnering with the son of his, I would almost call rival, Saul. And we've also talked a little bit about King Saul and his he becomes anointed and he becomes king, and his rise of being a good king, but also his decline of being a bad king, right? And now David is on the run. We talked last week about David being on the run from King Saul because King Saul is going to kill him. And now King Saul, remember, David was the guy who used to fight his fights. Saul wants so much to kill David that he is actually out as part of the hunting party looking for David. Well, one day Saul decides that he's going to take a rest. And the king probably didn't sleep with his entire army. He decides he's going to go coop up into a nice big cave. And he sits there, and if you ever been into a cave, you can go in, the light is on one side, you can see, but when you look back in the back, you can't see nothing. Saul lays down and goes to sleep, and little did he know that David and his men are hiding inside this cave. David has the opportunity to get rid of his rival in this minute. But David does something really weird. He does not go against what God has done. Remember, God placed Saul as king. Even though God didn't think Saul should have been king, he did give him the right to be king. That God didn't think that the timing was right for a king, but he still allowed a king. And David knew that God had Saul become king. And so David said, I can't go against God. I cannot kill Saul. So what David does is he sneaks up while Saul's asleep and he cuts off a piece of his clothing and he goes back and he hides. Saul gets up and stretches, and he's going about, probably not noticing that his clothes have been cut yet. And he goes out of the outside of the cave when David, inside of the cave, says, "Why are you trying to kill me? All I did was really serve you. I had the opportunity to kill you in this moment, and I didn't take it because you were one of God's chosen kings. I didn't do it, but to show you that I did, take a peek at your clothes. I cut off a piece." And Saul sees that, and he has this moment of realizing that David had his life in his hands, and David spared him. Saul is so overcome by that he sits there and praises David and thanks him that you had the opportunity to kill me and you didn't take it. All you did was cut my clothes. And listen, let's make a promise that we will not hurt each other. And so David commits to that promise. And it shows this act of forgiveness. It shows this act of coming together, even though we don't agree in everything, that even though somebody may not even like you, that you can come together and unite and be as one and not hurt the other, not say bad things about the other, not do bad things to that person. In school, right? You guys hang out with a lot of people, but there are some people that may not be within your group, right? You may see them as different. You may see them as maybe awkward or something, but you don't allow them into your group. And maybe someone in your group is sitting there saying bad things about that person. How would it be if you were more like David and Saul in this moment, coming together, communicating with the people that maybe not in your group or outside of your group, and coming together in friendship and trying to find ways that you can be alike? That would be a wonderful thing. So guys, we're going to continue next month. We're going to jump from David. We're going to jump to Joseph. And Joseph is one of my favorites. I just did a great VBS and it was on the life of Joseph. So I've got it into the brain. I know what I'm going to be saying, I think. And I want to sit there and show you and tell you about one of the greatest guys, probably next to David. Joseph is one of my absolute favorite stories because Joseph shows to be a true man of God himself. And we'll see what I mean by that next month. But verses coming up next, I truly hope you're taking these verses and putting them in your heart. Because when you do, you'll be more like David. You'll have opportunities that you can do bad things, that you'll have opportunities where you may not be so godly in your actions. But if you take these verses and you memorize them and put them in your heart, you're going to live more like God. You're going to live more like David. And you're going to be more forgiving. And you're going to be more willing to help somebody else. So guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you next time. And I hope you're just having a blessed week. I know school's coming. I know some of you are dreading it. And I know some of you are excited about it. But guys, know I am praying for either way. I am praying for you to have a great year at school. Here's what I recommend. Start strong and finish well. If you do that, start strong. Come out of the gate just gangbusters for school. It'll carry through the rest of the year. And when the year starts to drag on and get close to the end and you're like ready to give up, finish strong. Finish well. And that makes a great school year. And it'll take you on to the future. So guys, have a great one. We'll talk to you next time. Be blessed. I love you. Bye. Sing to the Lord with grateful praise. Make music to our God on the harp. Psalm 147:7.